the organ system in our body which breaks down food into its molecular form, which helps the body absorb it, is called the digestive system. There are 5 major tasks of the digestive system. The first task is ingestion, which literally means the act of taking in food. The second one is digestion, which means breaking the food down, breaking down the food into its molecular form. The third one is absorption, which means absorbing the nutrition from the food inside the body. The fourth one is assimilation, which is utilizing the nutrients found in the food. And the last one is egestion, which means removal of waste material along with the undigested food out of the body. Parts of the digestive system. Now I'm going to tell you about the 7 parts, their functions, and the 3 glands, their functions, and about the gallbladder. First, we'll come to the first one over here, the gallbladder. The gallbladder is this green thing located over here. The gallbladder's function is to take the juices from the pancreas and the liver and send it inside this small intestine. We'll see what that is. So the mouth or the buccal cavity is this one over here. This place is where digestion starts, and the job of this one is it has the tongue and the teeth. The teeth, they break food into smaller pieces so that it's easy to digest in the stomach. And the mouth also mixes saliva with the food, which contains amylase, which digests carbohydrates and makes them into sugars. Next, after the mouth, there is the tongue also, this pink thing. Tongue's main job is to keep the food moving here and there so that no piece of food is left unchewed, and the tongue also pushes the food down into this long tube, the esophagus, which leads to the stomach. The next part, the esophagus, it has muscle movements called peristalsis, which prevents the food from going back up once the tongue has pushed it down. The esophagus has one valve over here called the sphincter, which opens only when the food is ready to enter the stomach. In the stomach, there is one acid called HCl, which is a hydrochloric acid. The first job of this hydrochloric acid is to stop the saliva, stop the function of the amylase which was there in the saliva, and make it neutral. After that, the HCl also helps in digesting the food. The strong stomach walls keep the food moving here and there so that no piece of food is left unchurned. They churn the food in one way. The stomach also has one thin lining of mucus around it, which is secreted by the stomach lining, so that this dilute HCl, which is a very dangerous chemical, does not digest the stomach itself. So the mucus is also very important. After that, this long tube is there called the duodenum, which sends the food down inside the small intestine. While it's going from here, juices are secreted by the liver and the pancreas. The liver secretes a juice called bile, and the pancreas secrete pancreatic juice. So bile and pancreatic juice both help to make proteins into amino acids and fats into fatty acids. So next, in the small intestine, there are thousands of finger-like structures, small, called villi. After the stomach has churned the food and the bile and the pancreas have turned the food into its molecular form, the villi absorb it inside the bloodstream. Then it is used by the blood and the body for growth and nutrition. After that, from here, the undigested food, like the small intestine cannot absorb all the food, because the parts of the food that are undigested or that cannot be digested, like cellulose, we know the body cannot digest it. So like these parts, the small intestine sends inside the large intestine. In the large intestine, at the starting, there's one small stick-like thing called the appendix. It's a vestigial organ which has no job. After the food reaches over here, sometimes it can enter this appendix and it can cause germ formation, which can cause swelling, and then the appendix has to be removed, which we call appendicitis surgery. So that's why while we are eating, then after eating, we should not jump around too much, cause the food can enter the appendix and it can cause a really severe problem. After getting inside the large intestine, the food goes all the way up. Now the small intestine, as you may have heard, is around 21 meters, very long, 6 feet, more than 4 times the length of the person it is inside. So it's highly coiled. So after hearing the name small intestine and finding out that it is so long, many people who started learning about the digestive system, they think that the large intestine is much longer. But actually the large intestine does not refer to the length. Actually it refers to the breadth. As you can see, the small intestine is very long, but it's thin also. But the large intestine, it is very thick, but it is short. Then when the food is inside the large intestine, what basically happens over here is that water from the food, like cellulose, is found in leaves, as we know, plants. So water will be left. When we are drinking soups and all, also the stomach and the small intestine, they don't absorb all that water which gets absorbed by the rice or the vegetables which were there in the soup. So all of this is left undigested because the villi cannot absorb that wetty substance. So after going all the way, it reaches the large intestine, which has the job of absorbing all the water from the food and turning it into a hard substance called feces. This feces is stored in the rectum, and until it is time to go to the washroom, and the food exits the body through the anus. And the 3 glands that a body has are the salivary gland, which is located right over here. This gland produces saliva, as I told, which digests carbohydrates. The next one is the liver, which produces bile, which also acts as an alkaline to stop the work of the HCl. Otherwise the small intestine can be harmed a lot, and also digests the food. And the last one is the pancreas over here, which produces pancreatic juice, which also helps in further digestion of food. That's it for today. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel, and hope to see you next time. Till then, bye.